Hi there, greetings, salutations, and welcome. Not only inside Chili Water and Hoagies and Hops at 42nd and Boulevard, but Derek Schultz. Welcome to this, the greatest week in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, it's the best. Can you tell that I'm excited?
I thought you were shaving down to a mustache.
You know what? And the people, I think people that are longtime listeners / watchers of this show know this. I am very in tune with my body. So mentally, spiritually, sexually, like the whole thing, physically, the whole thing. I am very much a person that listens to my body. And last night, I got out of the shower. I'm still kind of glistening wet out of the shower, right? And I'm like, okay, it's time. I did my moisturizing routine. I did the scrub, beard scrub, and then I have a mustache scrub and oil. So I've been doing what I've been doing like the last couple of weeks to promote growth and promote softness. I know you don't want to feel the softness for some weird reason, but it's very soft. And I started to take the electric razor to take this level down, and it, I turned it on like that, and there was just something in my brain saying, no, not ready. So we're going to go carb day, I think. Carb day, I'm definitely going to have the mustache. So I got to get my mind right. But when my body is ready, I will be ready. It was not ready last night. So, sorry, I didn't mean to give like a long, drawn-out explanation, but you opened up the door.
I'm glad that you at least delayed that, because we will be, and by the time this airs, it will already have taken place, and I'm already nervous for it. But we will be emceeing once again. It is probably the biggest, and every year I think to myself, I can't believe they've asked us back. But always grateful to do so. The American Dairy Association of Indiana Rookie Luncheon at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to honor the 4 rookies in this year's rookie class. That would be Mick Schumacher, Kyle Collette, Dennis Hauger, and Jacob Abel. They are the 4 rookies. And dignitaries from the Speedway will be there, and Derek and I will be hosting the event, and I am so grateful that Derek will look pseudo-professional, even though he's wearing an absurd checker flag shirt. I don't know if that's what he'll be wearing when we do the luncheon itself. But that is a real highlight, honestly. Winners drink milk. 90th year since Louis Meyer did exactly that. And so
Wilbur Shaw.
Wilbur Shaw is an Indiana guy too, right?
Yeah, sure.
But either way, Louis Meyer, the famous buttermilk back in 1936. And now here we are in 2026. We'll be doing the toast. And it is a thrill. It is a thrill and an honor. And Derek, I'm glad you will look pseudo-professional for it.
Always.
But there's a ton to talk about, though.
Yeah, before we even got into one of my favorite things that we did this for a long time with the radio show, is we divided the field of 33 into tiers. And, like best chance to win favorites, things like that, too. Just, the people that are happy to be there. Because there's always a section of people. If you qualify for this race, great job. You know what I mean? Like, you got something, especially now. It's not like, Billy Boat out there or anything. But, you have some people that a meteor could hit the IMS and they aren't going to win the race, and so we're going to go from Alex Palou to that level of racer coming up a little bit later on the show. But Jake, the Colts schedule reveal, everybody was talking about it last week. Are you an eye roll guy on the NFL schedule reveal?
I don't understand, and I know I'm old. I don't understand. First off, every team releases on social media, and it's like the NFL schedule release viewing tonight, NFL Network, 8 p.m. And I'm like, the Chargers release theirs at 6:30.
Yeah, or the games leak out. There's like a slow leak
by
of
the
games.
By the time the schedule releases announced, I'm like, they've already told me the 9 primetime.
Yeah, you knew half the Cowboys games.
Derek, here's my one thing, and I know that I'm the old man yelling at clouds. I get it, and it's not fun sometimes living a life where you just get fatigued by what everybody else loves, okay? However, the NFL is the 800-pound gorilla. I know it. But technically, it's now kind of the 798.5-pound gorilla, because they keep just doing something to remove a couple ounces off that weight. And I know that
peaked.
What's that?
It peaked, right?
Peaked?
Yeah, I think around 2015 it peaked.
But here's the thing. I think the NFL is doing itself a disservice, and I understand why. I totally get it. But they are going to enter into, and when it happens, it's real tough to turn away from it when fatigue kicks in. And they are starting to saturate the calendar, not just over the course of the non-football season, with every 6 weeks having something else to keep themselves in the news, but more so now the number of games that they're playing. We're going to play games the night before Thanksgiving. We're going to play on Thanksgiving. We're going to play on Black Friday. We're going to play on New Year's Eve. We're going to play on New Year's Day. We're going to play on Christmas Eve. We're going to play. I have started to see people that are like, enough. Part of what made the NFL so special and so unique was you knew your team played on Sunday, and if they were really good, they might play on Sunday or Monday night, and that's it. And now it just is everywhere you turn around, you're like, oh, there's a game again?
Yeah.
It's too.
It's a lot.
And I hate to say it that way.
Yeah, and the combine into rookie camp,
correct.
Into everything has become an event. Even the combine.
Why are people talking about? Let me ask you this: What do the schedules of Major League Baseball and the NBA have in common right now in terms of the discussion of those two leagues?
It's too long.
It's too long. Too many games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The NFL is only 17 games. I get it, but they're trying to make them more. But more importantly, the NFL, the reason why the NBA and Major League Baseball feel like too many games is because there are weeks you're like, oh my gosh, there's a game again tonight. I was just at the field house on Monday, and now it's Wednesday, and there's another game. I didn't know there's another game. That feeling of just the nonstop treadmill of it, the NFL is putting itself in that position because you feel like every night there's a game.
But there's still that sense of urgency, right? Even with 18 games, there is a sense of urgency that you don't get with a 162 or 82 game schedule.
I mean,
right?
I agree.
The NFL always has that going for it. I do think it's fun that the team socials have really leaned into it. Now, there are some misses along with the hits, but I'm a huge Simpsons fan. I loved what the Colts did with the Simpsons. I
totally
thought it was really
creative,
funny.
no question.
And creative. There were a couple of other teams. I always say San Diego. The Chargers are always really fun and unique and interesting. Nothing is ever going to beat the Titans team going out on Broadway and asking a bunch of bachelorette parties, hey, name this team.
But the problem with that is then everybody tried to do it a million times over.
Well, but the issue is you're always chasing that ghost because that was so unique and organic and it had no production value at all, and it was perfect. You will never, ever have a more perfect schedule reveal than that schedule reveal.
So here's my one disagreement. It illuminates the fact that there are people that don't care about the NFL.
I just think going out, man on the street to me, it was always my favorite Letterman stuff when they'd put him out there a bit for
Turn
whoever
on the
else.
external camera.
Yeah, and they'd have them out there. Man on the street just hits me in the funnies.
Okay, nobody was better at it than Letterman.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Oh, he was unbelievable. But to get to the actual schedule, Jake, very advantageous, I think, for the Colts. Hesitant to say in the middle of May, I'm not going to do the whole, well, they'll win this game, they'll lose this game. I got them at 11-6 this year. What do you think, JQ? I'm not going to do that. That's like sports radio. We don't do that on this show. It's a very serious show. Journalistic integrity, all of that. We listen to our bodies.
We got quoted in Sports Illustrated, by the way.
Yeah. You see that? Not bad. It was something you said, which usually doesn't happen. 3 primetime games. I'm counting the London game as it's a standalone game, so I'm counting it as a primetime game. Week 2 in San Diego. Why do I keep saying San Diego? My wife's in San Diego this week. Week 2 at Kansas City, Sunday Night Football. Week 4 against Washington in London, and then Week 11 at Houston for Sunday Night Football. So again, no primetime games in Indianapolis, which isn't anything new. 70 to 80% of the Colts primetime games are on the road, historically speaking, over the last 20 years. That's unscientific, but that's what it feels like. I love the fact that they draw the Chiefs so early because Mahomes might be coming back from the injury.
The Mahomes thing is fascinating to me, Derek. This guy, basically obliterated his knee at the end of the year, and it's just this foregone conclusion he's going to be healthy.
Well, I mean, inherently speaking, ACLs have become far less serious than Achilles.
But he had every. I mean, they threw in the cafeteria, right?
Yeah, he exploded
ACL,
his
PCL,
knee.
and MCL,
he exploded his knee essentially. So yeah, when you were growing up, that would have been a career ender.
Correct.
When I was growing up, an Achilles was a career ender. So we've made a lot of progress in both of those areas. But you look at it, Jake, I don't love that. I love Dallas coming here. That's always a fun game. You have the Cowboys fans all traveling in from Avon and Greenwood and Danville and places like that. So that's always a fun atmosphere. But the rest of this schedule, the Colts were just at Arrowhead. The Colts were just in Pittsburgh. Those games do nothing for me. You know what I mean? The home schedule is Baltimore, Houston, Tennessee, Dallas, Miami, the Giants, Jacksonville, and Cincinnati. Okay. Giants might be a fun game just because of the Daniel Jones connection, right? That might be kind of fun.
Can I be the stick in the mud here? Can I
Baltimore as the opener might be fun, but I feel like I'm reaching for both of those games.
I feel like we're reaching in general because who in the hell cares? It's like 4 days before the Indy 500, and we're talking about whether or not the Colts can beat Baltimore in 7 months.
Would you rather talk about, like Christian Rasmussen and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. I realize people want to hear about the Colts, but I'm just saying.
We have a shortened show today because we have so much stuff going on. So I'm trying to fit in some Colts, and then I'll fit in some Indy 500 tiers. But I wanted to still lead Colts.
Is there anything about you that's not listed as shortened?
Based on, you know what? I'm going to let that go. The vibes of this week are immaculate. I'm in a great mood.
I'm just saying.
You can't bring me down.
Exactly.
You can't.
That's the point. Yeah.
All right. Let's, Vince, let's get that in post. That's not the right. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. You can't knock me off my pedestal here. Actually, that makes me sound arrogant. Let's get that one in post. All right. We've been doing a lot of stuff in post. The ISC team has been busy. I haven't rewatched any of the shows, but they've been busy the last couple of weeks. 3, 2, 1. You can't make me angry. Based on 2025 winning percentage, the Colts have the 5th easiest schedule in the league. I'm very hesitant about that stat because things change a lot year to year.
That's correct.
Things change a lot. There are certain opponents, New England, for example. If you had New England on last year's schedule right now, you're thinking, oh, they had a 4-win season. They stink. They went all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And that stuff happens. It goes the opposite way, too, where good teams kind of flip around. But if it's going to happen, and God, Jake, if I had $1 for every time that we've said this during the Chris Ballard era, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen with this schedule, right?
That's fair.
You have to be a playoff team with this schedule. You have to. And I just hope that that's the case. I remain hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic, even though I think the Colts have a very middling roster overall, and they have some big question marks with what's going to happen with Jones post-Achilles. Defensively, they're relying on a lot of new players and rookies to fill in.
I figured it out, Derek.
It's going to be difficult.
I mean this as no disrespect to the Colts, and they're catching strays here, right? They are innocent victims of this. Do you want to know my fatigue with the Colts right now?
What's that?
So it's happened since we were last on. So for those that don't know, I know that you know, but on Fast Friday, I was on my way to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and my car was totaled. I was sitting at a stoplight, and there was a crash that then crashed its way into me. All told, 6 cars were totaled, including mine.
Not just a crash. It was a dude doing like a hundo.
114 miles an hour. So my car was obliterated. Basically, a bomb went off, right? It was amazing. Everybody walked away. That's the important thing. But my car was completely – my car, which is totally paid off, has a brand-new engine in it and is in immaculate condition, is now sitting in the IMPD impound lot. So – I had to go and clean it out. You go there, and I don't know if you've ever had to do this, but it's kind of sad. It's a little disturbing. You're just in this graveyard of demolished cars, and there sits your car.
Yeah.
It's like seeing the stuffed animal in the Goodwill section. Yeah. You're like, So there's my car, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to clean this out, and I'll never see this car again. And you have 15 minutes, and they have a guy that goes back there that sits by a truck and has a timer and is like, all right, let's go. So I'm back there, and I'm cleaning out my car, and you got to take pictures and videos and everything else, and nobody's saying a word, and it's just kind of this funeral feeling.
I have sentimental attachment to physical things too,
Correct.
So I'm with you in the same boat.
So I'm doing it, and I'm about 3 minutes from when I have to be done, and I'm like, oh gosh, I still got to do this video, and I got to take pictures for insurance, whatever else. And all of a sudden, the guy that escorts me back there from the impound lot just goes, man, I got to ask. Is AR going to stay on the roster, or they trust Riley Leonard? And I'm like, yeah, man. We'll talk about it on Tuesday, okay? Yeah.
See, that's the difference between you and me. I would immediately stop what I was doing. I would talk to that man. I would learn his name. I would learn about his family. We would become friends. We would take a selfie. I would sign anything that he had. No personal. So I don't do like to Jason or something. I don't do personalized greetings. But that's the difference kind of between you and me. I'm more of a man. I always want to be there for my fans.
So anyway, Scott, who went to Ben Davis and graduated in 93, and actually his last day at the impound lot is on Wednesday after 7 months there. It was good to meet him.
So he dragged you kicking and screaming into a conversation, and then you learned about him.
He was a nice dude, and I talked to him, and then he was like, I'll give you as much time as you need. I'm like,
it is amazing to me how many people that you meet, and this is for call-ins to your show as well, that they are always graduates of North Central, Ben Davis, or Warren, in between the years of 1988 and 1993. And then you just start riffing on each other. Hey, did you know Tommy Two? Oh, I knew Tommy Two-Tone. Yeah, he was married my cousin. Oh my God, yeah, and he was All-State that one year. And I'm like, these are gigantic high schools. Even then, they were gigantic high schools. Like, how do you know all the same? It's just late 1980s, early 1990s Indianapolis.
Correct. That's right.
So I'm fascinated by that. But yeah, I did that. The only other time that I did that was I got a car totaled. The only time this has happened to me. In 2008, it was the weekend that Tiger Woods was playing Rocco Mediate in the U.S. Open. So that was the last major win for Tiger until the Masters, whatever year that was, 2019. And I was going from Bloomington to Indy, and I was outside of Martinsville High School. There used to be a stop sign, and somebody just a pickup truck smashed right into me. They stayed, and they weren't paying attention to whatever else. But I had to go to a Martinsville impound lot. And it was in 2008, right after all the flooding. Do you remember that spring? Yeah. There was terrible flooding. And there was a dude that came out in, you guys call them bibs, right? We call them overalls.
Right. I mean, it must be because of all the debris.
And bibs, nothing underneath, just bibs. And I almost felt like it was a scene from Deliverance, type thing. Like the banjo's playing in the background. I'm cleaning out my completely destroyed and pulverized Honda Civic. So I know what that's like. It sucks.
And you feel like you're the one that did something wrong. And I'm like, no. Like I was the.
Yeah, some dude was doing a hundo.
To be honest with you, I'm like, why is my car in the impound? Can I not just drive it off?
Yeah.
I mean, it's totaled.
That does suck that you put a new engine in it, though.
I mean, don't give me.
Can I grab the Sandos? Let me grab the Sandos here.
So, if anybody's in the market of selling a car, I actually think, Derek, I'm just going to get. And I never thought I would do this, but looking right now at the price of used cars, 30,000 miles and fewer, or 50,000 miles.
It's not even worth it.
I'm like, I might as well just get a new one.
Yeah,
right?
It's not even worth it. Gently used cars are almost just expensive as the new ones. Look at this, little race flags. Isn't Christina the best? She's awesome. I love Christina.
Little race flags as well on the beer, the chili water.
Get your track pack.
500 miles high.
18-inch Sando. 18-inch Sando. You get the pepper shooters as well. You get 2 bags of hers chips straight from PA. $30. It's a great deal. This is the OG, baby. The hog. Love it. It's the Italian. So you got some prosciutto on here. You got some gabagool.
You can barely even grab it.
You got the Prove. Oh, man. It's all the oil. It's delicious. Shaved O. LT. Licio's bread from South Jersey. Awesome.
You're knocking stuff over. Spitting stuff up.
No.
Can you give me a napkin, please?
Yeah. There you go. Dig on in there.
Now,
can I take another bite before we continue?
Yeah, but why don't you? Hey, Brent, why don't you grab us the 2 opened beers?
Oh, open one?
She opened 2 beers right there. See, nobody's even listening.
Okay, let me get those.
There's 2 cracked open beers right there to your left, and you refuse to get them. No one's grabbing them. No one's getting them. I'm just speaking into the abyss here, it would appear. But Derek has now gone to get the beers. But again, everything you need for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as you get set for the – are those the open ones?
They're not open.
I heard her open them. Yeah. Everything you need for the Indianapolis 500 is right here at Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, the very best. And why go anywhere else to pack your cooler? You get a couple of these in there, and you're going to sit there. I don't care how much rain delay we have. You're going to be like, that's fine. I'll have another sandwich.
And it cools you down. It's refreshing. Cold cuts, cool toppings, cold Sando, hot day, which it usually is out the track. It's a great thing to get. Hero of the week. Sorry. Got to get the LTO down the gullet there. I used this on Joel Embiid last week, and then things kind of blew up for Joel Embiid and the Sixers. They got really dominated in that series. So I'm hesitant to do so here because I really like this guy. I've always liked this guy. And
yes, how long has he been around?
Boo, almost 10 years.
Okay.
And he's a really, really good player. Borderline a great player. He was a great player last year. But a really, really good player.
Is he a better college player than pro?
No, I don't think so. Even though he was good on – I thought he was kind of underrated in college. Played nearby. But he's just one of those guys, Jake, that they're just some players that are just sort of, I don't want to say victim of circumstance, because in the NBA, you have to be good enough to lift the people around you, right? And I don't know if this guy necessarily does that, but I like him. I hated that it was a free throw parade for him last year against the Pacers. But Donovan Mitchell, to me, is the hero of the week. He just made his first conference finals. He's a big reason, obviously, why the Cavs have gotten this far. 7-time All-Star, but that has not translated into a lot of deep playoff runs in Utah or Cleveland. But a guy that was a top 10 scorer in the NBA this year. He averaged 28 points per game in 14 career playoff series, so he has had that level of scoring and kept his game at that level during the postseason. Keeps it up this time of year. Just a really good player.
When he gets hot.
I don't know if we talk about enough.
When he gets hot, when he gets hot and he gets that lightning in a bottle feel, he has that ability as much as anybody in the league, where it's like, just get out of the way. You know what I mean?
Incredible scorer.
He can flat score.
Incredible. I didn't even fuck my beer.
I thought you were going to give it to James Harden for his, again, outstanding 0 for 6 from three-point range, 2 for 18 from the floor performances in the playoffs.
Yeah, what do you end up with? Like 8 points in Game 7, and of course the Cavs win, right? Yeah. That's the other thing that just bothers me about the whole conversation. Like, James Harden technically will go to the conference finals with that performance in a Game 7. You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with him. Or sometimes you have 38 points and a Game 7 loss, and it's like, well, he lost in the conference finals. It's like, what? It had nothing to do with him. He was great. Team sucked.
The East is showing and proving why, if you're a Pacer fan, you shouldn't worry.
Yeah, you got to feel great if you're a Pacers fan.
Right.
42nd Boulevard, full menu options and catering.
But do not look at the West.
Hoagies and Hops.com.
Look into the West and look at what they have there.
Well, man, hero of the week, I should have done Wemby. You see that game? Oh, my Lord. 41, 20 rebounds.
26, right?
First, 26 rebounds? Is that how many?
24.
24 rebounds. First Spurs player to do that since the ultimate underrated, one of the most underrated players in American professional sports, David Robinson, did it. I mean, David Robinson's we don't talk about him enough. He's an unbelievable career. Hakeem Olajuwon kind of went the other way, right? Like, we decided that Hakeem Olajuwon is the most underrated player ever in the NBA, and so he almost became overrated, whereas I think David Robinson stayed underrated. But I don't know. That's just me. But Wemby is just... If you said it, Jake, if the Thunder don't do it this year, then they got a big 7-4 roadblock, right, in their way the rest of the way, because their Spurs are really, really good too. We come back on the show. Get your chili water beers. Get your Track Sandos. By Thursday, by the way, get those orders in for the $30 deal with Christina and her group over here at HoagiesandHops.com. Indianapolis 500 picks. Driver tiers, we'll have some fun with it. We still have our American Dairy Association Indiana winner of the week, quick hits, and plenty to get to. It's Query and Schultz, episode 287 here on the ISC Sports Network.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Seth Goodeman lays out and makes an amazing catch.
Come on, Alley Cat fans, on your feet, make some noise. Wave your flags in the air.
And again, the Alley Cats with the defensive stand.
Big throw into space. Bigger bid from Nick Betch. My goodness. Huge.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do, from Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back. Bailey and Wood presents Query and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network. Happy Race Week alongside Jake Query. I'm Derek Schultz. Thanks to our friends at Bailey and Wood Financial Group. 855-350-HOME, BAWFG.com. Whether you're looking to get pre-approved for a home mortgage, it's home buying season. There's certainly home selling season. There's some in my neighborhood up the street here in Midtown. We have 3 alone, I think, on our street that are going for sale. At higher prices because they know, who's in the neighborhood. Right? People want to be my neighbor.
Yeah, okay.
Won't you be my neighbor? You can do so with Bailey Wood Financial Group by getting that pre-approval for your home mortgage. Also, refinancing and more. Mike Wood and his terrific team, 5-star customer service, Indiana branch locations all over the place. So if you want to walk into a physical location, you can do that as well. But check them out online at BAWFG.com. All right. You want me to tell you my tiers?
Okay.
You are the grader here. This is the only time that I ever defer to you for your expertise is this week.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me if I'm getting this right. If I'm not getting this right, who you would move around.
Okay.
Tier 1 favorites. Tier 2 wouldn't be surprised. So essentially like the next group of guys. Tier 3, I love this tier. Former winners and or veterans who I refuse to rule out completely.
Okay.
There's always kind of a group of those guys, right? Tier 4, long shots. Tier 5, happy to be there.
Okay.
I'll start with Tier 5. I put this person at the top of Tier 5, knowing that they have the equipment to contend in this race, but just thinking to myself, I would be really surprised if they won. You tell me if this is fair or not, because he's not usually a super competitive driver. Kiffin Simpson. Or would you put him in the long shots category?
I'd put him in the long shots category because of his team.
Yeah, okay.
Kiffin Simpson is a guy that his father basically owns the Cayman Islands, and there was a lot of discussion when he came up that he was basically a ride buyer. But he's done a nice job of being a solid and consistent top 8 to 12 performer that keeps it clean, does not tear up equipment, and he kind of feels like Marcus Ericsson in the year that Ericsson won it with Ganassi, where you talk about everybody else on the team, and then you're like, oh, gosh, this guy in the end, like they cycled him through, and he's running there in the top 8, and weird things can happen.
That is kind of true. That did
so
happen with
I would put that
Okay.
there.
Jack Harvey, Stingray Robb, Jacob Abel, Mick Schumacher, Catherine Legg, Louis Foster, Nolan Siegel, Dennis Hogger.
Fair. I like Dennis Hogger, and I think that he is a really good driver, but being a rookie, Sam Hornish said something really interesting to me yesterday, Derek, when I had him on my radio show. And I asked him about 20 years ago when he beat Marco Andretti. And I said, everybody keeps asking where the speed came from at the end of that last lap. And Marco Andretti said it when he got out of the car. And Sam Hornish said something to me that I'd never heard explained, but I thought that makes perfect sense. And Hornish said, the thing is, the speed was always there. What people don't realize is Marco was a rookie. And when you are a rookie, he's like the team, whether the driver wants it or knows it or not, the team puts a ton of downforce in the car as a rookie because you've never felt anything like the wind of those 32 other cars for 200 laps. So they make the car as stable as possible because the goal is to simply bring it home clean at the end of the race. And he said, my car was trimmed out. I was basically in almost a qualifying trim because I had the experience of 8 previous races and knowing what the car was going to need and how I could massage it to keep it stable. And he said, so therefore, I just had the speed that a rookie would not have. And that's going to be the thing about Hagler. They're going to go out there and say, turn it clean, but he is a really good driver.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him today. Tier 4, long shots. Let's put Kiffin Simpson up there.
Catherine Legg, by the way, is in that last group.
Yeah, I put her in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Renus VK, Graham Rahal, Christian Rasmussen, Kyle Collette, Marcus Armstrong, Romain Grosjean. I only put Collette in there because he clearly had speed before he failed inspection.
This is which group?
This is the long shots group.
Okay. I would – well, there's another guy that you could put – yeah. I would put VK in a group above that.
Okay.
I think VK belongs to be in
would I be surprised?
Correct.
Okay.
And I would put Graham Rahal in the category of going to need some help, so going to need maybe to get off strategy. Graham Rahal and Jack Harvey are 2 drivers that you watch. They're going to pit off sequence and try to do it in such a way. And the other thing to take into consideration, Derek, I hate saying this, weather may be a factor. And so teams might start gambling with that and get aggressive. But in that category, everybody else, I'm no issue with what you have.
I hate to do it to Graham, but they haven't had the speed in a long time at
that's
this
fair.
race. They just that team just in general, but certainly Graham He's really contended in this race once in the last 10 years, and outside of that, he's been an afterthought. Former winners or vets who I refuse to rule out completely. Elio, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Takuma Sato, Will Power, and Carpenter.
Totally fair. Although I put Sato and Elio a category above.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like straight. Like
Sato's been flat fast than he was last year, and he led. I think Sato might have led the most laps in the race last year. And Elio, nobody's talking about Elio, man, but I watched him in practice on Monday, and I'm like, man, there's a car moving their way through, and it was Elio. I think he's got some speed.
Ed's been pretty fast too, but Ed's always fast, and then race day happens, and that.
Well, the ECR cars typically are really good in qualifying setup, and then once they get in traffic, things change a little bit.
So tell me if you feel like any of these that I put here should be in the favorites tier. I had a hard time with this one because last week I would have put Kyle Kirkwood in one of the favorites tiers. Should I still have him up there? I put him in the wouldn't be surprised tier.
Yeah,
because they've struggled a little bit this month, right?
Going into the month, I thought Kirkwood was going to be the 1A favorite.
Yeah,
and they have not.
They've not had a good month.
Correct.
Yeah.
They've not had a good month.
So I put him in the wouldn't be surprised. Rosenquist, Erickson, Ferrucci, Daly, Lundgaard.
Fair.
Is that where it goes?
Yeah, that's fair.
Favorites, and maybe we boot Rossi out after yesterday. I don't know. But
Rosenquist. Here's the thing. Rosenquist should be in the favorites list.
Okay.
He's got arguably the fastest car, and I love Felix Rosenquist, but typically Rosenquist is prone to a late race mistake of some sort. Just whether it's a focus thing, a team thing, he's prone to a late race mistake, Rosenquist. So that's the issue there. The rest of them you have here, I'm looking at your list.
Hello, Award, Malukas.
Okay, the only problem with Daly and Ferrucci, no fault of theirs. Really isn't the case with Ferrucci here as much as Daly. Daly, the one challenge he's going to have is whenever you have a one-off team that does not do this every single weekend, the odds increase that you have one of your 8 pit stops go awry.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put him in the favorites category.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know Connor Daly has the speed to win this race.
No question.
I don't know that he has the team necessarily. Pillow, Award, Malukas, Dixon, McLaughlin, Newgarden, Rossi. That's who I had for my favorites, and we can. If you want to bump Rosenquist up there, we can make him the last one.
I would maybe even – and look, Rossi obviously had a crash in practice that was pretty big hit.
And he got shaken out. He got hurt.
He did. He had his wrist and his ankle were both hurt yesterday. We're taping this on Tuesday. I will tell you that for those that don't know, Alexander Rossi, and I'll probably mention this in the banquet, Derek, Alexander Rossi – if Alexander Rossi starts the Indy 500, he is in the middle of row number 1. Doesn't matter if he goes to a backup car. So long as there is a car that has the number 20 ECR on it, he starts in the middle of row number 1. If anyone else gets in that car, whether it's a primary backup, if any other driver's in it, it starts 31st. So he moves to the back of the field. Now, I will tell you that, and I know you're going to be like, oh, but I will tell you that I did interact with Alexander Rossi last night, and he is confident that he is going to be able to give it a go.
Reporting.
Yeah, I mean.
Reporting live. JQ. Let's go down to Jake.
See, I knew this was coming.
I interacted. we had an interaction last night. You texted him, or what happened?
I texted him.
Okay, yeah.
I texted him.
Don't be weird.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, to say that I talked to him is disingenuous, right?
No, you talked to him. Like, if my wife is like, hey, did you ask Jake about Saturday because we're going to invite him and Shannon to dinner, I might have texted you about that. I never call you because I know you hate getting called.
Birthday party.
And I'll say, yeah, I talked to Jake about it, even though it was technically, verbally I didn't say anything.
Anyway, he indicated that everything will be okay.
All right, so I feel good about those tiers. I feel there were some guys that were on the edge, but I feel good about that.
Going into the week, what I thought, the 5 Ps in Kirkwood.
Yeah.
The 3 Penske's, Pato and Pillow, and Kirkwood.
Which is a smaller list than...
And I would maybe say Kirkwood, take that out and put Sato in there. I think Sato's got a shot. And I think Elio's got a shot.
Yeah, and I just can't get past, like, there's been some team... Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, certainly, but also Andretti. There's been some team performance that has just not been good here the last couple of years.
That's correct.
And until I see otherwise, I can't elevate those guys to that group, right? With Penske and Ganassi and the rest, and even some of the guys with one-off teams that I just know are fast, because Andretti and Rahal have had some cars with some problems. Let's get to our Winners Drink Milk. Winners of the week. WinnersDrinkMilk.com. 2026, the 110th running of the race this Sunday. The 90th year, as Jake said, of the Milk Tradition with Louis Meyer. We've got the Delio, the rookie luncheon later today. It'll be a lot of fun.
The Delio.
The fun Delio.
All of the rookies, all of the drivers, after their workout at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, after the adrenaline is up, after the heart rate is up, the best thing to go to, chocolate milk. Milk in general, right? But chocolate milk,
right
which
here.
Graham Rahal, I think, requests every year.
Look at that tan.
The same amount, thank you, same amount of protein as hard-boiled eggs, the same amount of
baseball tan.
potassium as a banana, the same amount as vitamin A as 2 cups of spinach. All of it right there with the great taste, the nourishment, the refreshment, everything you need after a workout, chocolate milk.
I've already had some chocolate milk, and now my mustache is chocolatey a little bit on the tips.
Derek,
Just
can you
on
be
the
an adult, please?
little
Okay, great.
on the tips. Winner of the week. I guess how could it not be Alex Palou, right? Like even on Sunday when you've got Rossi and you're feeling really good about that, it's just he feels inevitable, doesn't he? Like whatever the chips are down and things are on the line, he just goes out there and in a time for the series where the talent level is as good as it's ever been. You have to go back to really like the heyday, pre-split, the whole deal. It's as good as it's ever been, and there's still a guy that just kind of stands above the rest, and
Derek,
it's him.
Here's the best way I can explain this. Because people are like, oh, they're cheating, they're doing whatever else. I'll show you if you look at my hands here, okay? And people can play along at home. So I've got my hands, if you're listening to me, but if you're watching, you can see it. My hands are at the 10-2 position. I have a unique perspective. I know I'm lucky for it, but in a lot of these races, I'm calling a turn, and I'm on a scissor lift, like literally looking right down, straight down into the cockpit of cars. Most drivers, as they go into a turn, they're turning their hands like a quarter of the way this way. So now all of a sudden in the turn, their hands are at like 9:15 and 1:15, and then they come back. Alex Palou, I kid you not when I watch it, his hands are at 10-2. He goes into a turn, and his hands go to 10:20 and like 1:40 and right back. I know that sounds nuanced and it sounds ridiculous, but my point being, other drivers are having to kind of force cars into turns and hold it there for a second, and Palou has a hand-eye coordination and a wrist strength where it's just deet, 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 and the car immediately gets right. So if other people are out of full throttle because they're turning the car for 1/4 of a second, Palou does it for 1/10 of a second. And over the course of 200 laps and 4 turns, it adds up. And before you know it, he is a half a second faster, then he's a second and a half faster, then he's 3 seconds faster, and now all of a sudden he's a half a lap ahead of everybody. That's why this guy is so – that combined with the fact that he is totally unflappable. Totally unflappable. He does not get nervous. He does not get rattled. He does not deviate his focus. Yeah. He's truly – and I know people love to tear down the guy at the top. I get it. He's won 4 titles. He's a native of Barcelona. He moved to Indianapolis. He got married. He has a baby. He carries the baby carrier. He goes to Pacer games. He goes to IU football games. He hangs out in Carmel. He's the nicest dude ever. He has no ego. He truly should be everything that people would root for.
Yeah. And he's elite.
He is that.
He's unbelievably elite. We come back on the show. Quick Hits, sponsored by our friends, the Indy Alley Cats. Also, we'll have Bite or Bobleep from our friends at Chateau Kitchens.
Thank you again, by the way, to the American Dairy Association of Indiana for having us out.
Yeah, we can't wait for that. We'll come back with that next. It's Corey and Schultz presented by Bailey & Wood Financial Group here on the ISC Sports Network.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do. From Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Seth Goodeman lays out and makes an amazing catch.
Come on, Alley Cat fans on your feet, make some noise. Wave your flags in the air.
cap with the defensive stand.
Big throw into space. Bigger bid from Nick Betch. My goodness. Huge.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride ourselves.
Welcome back. Bailey & Wood presents Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Let's get to our quick hits, sponsored by our friends, the Indy Alley Cats. Did you know the Indianapolis Alley Cats are Indy's professional ultimate Frisbee team? Well, now you do. Family-friendly atmosphere, super low cost with all the game day elements that you expect from a professional sport. Games are really fun to watch. Simple to understand, played downtown at Coons Stadium, and it's a lot of fun. You can even watch the games right here on the ISC Sports Network. Next home game, May 29th against Chicago. They've got a pair of home games in June as well. Tickets and more info, go to myalleycats.com. 16th and Riverside, where the stadium is, and it's a great experience. Action-packed. There really are no stoppages. It's super fun. I love going out there, and I love bringing James out there too. Matt Painter landed a blue-chip recruit. Pike star and top 30 national recruit Isaiah Hill, 7-footer, chose Purdue over the weekend. He's only 16 years old, even though he's technically a junior or a rising senior. He's rated as high as number 8 by ESPN, their highest Purdue basketball recruit ever, and is a consensus top 30 recruit among other platforms. He is the first member of the Boilers 2027 class. I'm just glad high school recruiting still goes on. I feel like we've talked so much about the portal that you forget about this stuff. Congrats to UIndy baseball. They've been fantastic. They're on to the Division II Super Regionals for a 4th straight year after winning 4 straight games, including a Sunday doubleheader sweep of the host seed, Illinois Springfield, to advance. They'll now head to Michigan for a best-of-3 NCAA Midwest Super Regional against the top-seeded Grand Valley Lakers. First game scheduled for Thursday, so congratulations to the Hounds. And finally, this more in Jake's wheelhouse than mine, because I wasn't alive for, obviously I know about the Miracle on Ice, but Herb Brooks's ring, coaches don't get medals. So he did not get an Olympic gold medal, but he was given a ring, sold for $549,000. Wow. Now, it was given to his brother from the family. So this wasn't, some sort of a rogue actor. It still kind of makes me uncomfortable. I don't love that people sell this stuff. But look, whatever. $549,000 and a 10-karat gold ring was the only award bestowed upon Brooks following the victory. So kind of a cool piece of history to have. No doubt about that. Sorry, we got to hustle here. So let's get to Bite or Bull Bleep. Chateau Kitchens in the next segment as we bid you adieu here. Episode 287, Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey Wood Financial Group here on the ISC Sports Network.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey & Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do. From Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey & Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Back for a final time, Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey & Wood Financial Group, ISC Sports Network. He's Jake, I'm Derek. Chateau Kitchens on Instagram and Facebook at Chateau Kitchens for before and after pictures. They are in the business of in-home transformations. We're about to call them. They need to come look at our master shower's got to go. It's been about 12 years since we moved into the house. It's time.
You get the 2 shower heads in there.
Yeah, we do, but that was 2014 when we did that. It wasn't Chateau because it was before I knew about Chateau. So that's the one room. I think that's the one room in our house that they've not touched because literally everywhere else in my house, Chateau Kitchens has done a great job renovating. So now they can complete not the trifecta. What's 4? Four-fecta? Quadfecta? Quattrofecta?
Quattrofecta.
Okay, Quattrofecta. Let's just go for that. Chateau Kitchen's going to do the Quattrofecta. They're actually, Dan and Jamie, our neighbors, have Chateau Kitchens doing their kitchen.
That's
down
cool.
the street. Yeah, they're awesome. Check them out, chateaukitchens.com, to get your next home project started. Bider Bobley, Jake, this is always my favorite one. We will have a first-time winner of the Indianapolis 500. 9 former winners in the field: Pelot, Newgarden, Rossi, Dixon, Elio, Hunter-Ray, Sato, Erickson, Power, or the field. Thing is, you've also got 8 or 9 people that have no chance, right? So it's a 50-50 shot.
Derek, it is. I'll buy it. Pelot is such a heavy favorite. I'll buy it because I'll say that gives me Pato, McLaughlin, and Malukas.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be Pelot, I think it's one of those 3.
There's no way I'm going to buy it. It's just too many. Yeah. There are too many heavy hitters. Pelot, Newgarden, Rossi. Nobody's
Elio.
talking about Dixon.
Yeah, Dixon's a good one. That's a good one.
Elio.
Dixon's a good one.
Could Hunter-Ray conceivably win this race?
Yeah, but they've struggled all week.
Yeah, they've not been great.
Dixon's a good one. Dixon's a good one.
Conceivably win this race. It would be very Dixon for him to be the odds-on favorite for all those years, and then suddenly in year or whatever this is for him now. God, 20.
Yes.
What is this, the 23rd, 24th?
24th, I think,
Yeah, for him to do it. On this date next year, we'll be previewing the Pacers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Bider Bobley.
The biggest yes of all time.
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. I think, as you said, Jake, you're watching the Eastern Conference playoffs play out right now. It's not like you got a bunch of world beaters in there. I think the Knicks are very good. I don't think they're great. I think Detroit's got a very good young core. I don't think they're great. I think Cleveland's very good. I don't think they're great. I think Atlanta's got a very good young core. I don't think they're great. I think the Pacers can be great. I think they've shown they can be great. So I'm going to say buy it there. Statement number 3, Jake Query has the worst luck with automobiles that he owns. Bider Bobley.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable,
Sorry.
right?
I don't mean to laugh because you almost died, right?
Listen, I mean, Derek, to know that I had a brand new engine put in under warranty and it was paid off, I was like, I'm going to drive this for 8 more years and just save money. And now it's like, I got to get a car payment.
Yeah. It sucks. Even for somebody in your tax bracket, when we're talking about the people that make
what will
$500,000 or more,
what will insurance
it's still
give
hard
me?
to have a
What's
car
your
payment.
guess? What will I get from insurance?
What year is that car?
It's an 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee, not a scratch on it. The inside looks brand new. The engine is brand new. The engine has 1,100 miles on it, but the car itself has 150,000.
I bet insurance would give you $15,000 and somebody would sell it for $25,000.
It's totaled though.
Yeah, I guess that's right. They would have to fix it up a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're selling it outright.
The airbags alone total it because 9 airbags went off. The inside looks like a bomb went off. It looks like the RCA Dome.
But I mean, they still have to kind of give you the value of the car, right?
Yeah, but the value, I think I'll be lucky to get $9,000. I'll bet you.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
it's tough. Yeah. Yeah. So Jake will be eating mac and cheese and stuff like that.
That's right.
While. Yeah.
Total buzzkill.
Really struggling. Thanks to all of our terrific sponsors: Chateau Kitchens, Indianapolis Alley Cats, Indy Alley Cats, myindyalleycats.com for tickets and info. Winnersdrinkmilk.com and the American Dairy Association, Indiana. Can't wait to be out there. Coming up later on today, Chili Water Brewing and Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, southwestern edge of Midtown, and of course our presenting sponsors, Bailey and Wood Financial Group. For Brant, for Vince, he's Jake. I'm Derek. Have a wonderful race week. We will see you next time. We do have a show Tuesday, Memorial Day week. We'll recap the race right here on the ISC Sports Network.
At an Indiana dairy farm, long workdays stretch into more labor after sunset. A newborn calf needs watching. Barn needs cleaning. Tractor needs some handiwork for tomorrow's tasks. Just like in your own home, the day's chores are never done until the family beds down for the night. Dairy farmers and their families share the same dream with all of us, that what we all do is worthwhile. Bringing to market pure, safe, and healthy dairy foods is what they do, from Indiana's dairy families to ours every single day. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.